Parson James stared at the check in his hand. It was old, the edges frayed. He'd forgotten all about it, tucked away in a book. Now it felt like his last hope. His stomach churned, a familiar anxiety gnawing at him. He'd missed his medication again. He needed cash, and fast. The diner was mostly empty. A tired waitress, Clara, wiped down tables with a sigh. He caught her eye, a hopeful plea in his own. "Could I get a coffee, darling? Black as midnight." She nodded, bringing him the mug with a weary smile. He took a long sip, the bitter liquid doing little to soothe his nerves. "Something wrong, hun?" Clara asked, her voice laced with a lifetime of listening to other people's troubles. He hesitated, then showed her the check. "Think this old thing's still good?" Clara squinted at the date. "Honey, that's older than my oldest." She chuckled, a dry, knowing sound. "They don't even make checks like that anymore." He grimaced, his heart sinking. "What am I supposed to do?" he muttered, more to himself than to her. Clara leaned against the counter, her gaze thoughtful. "You know, my nephew, he's always going on about this digital money stuff. NFTs, he calls them." Parson frowned, utterly lost. NFTs. What in the world was she talking about? She continued. "He says they're worth a fortune, some of them. Pictures of monkeys, mostly, pictures of monkeys." Now she was just messing with him. Parson snorted, then winced as the movement sent a jolt of pain through his head. He needed his medicine. Desperation clawed at him. "You don't happen to have any pictures of monkeys lying around, do you?" he asked, a humorless laugh escaping him. Clara's eyes widened. "Well, now that you mention it." She rummaged beneath the counter, emerging with a dusty box. Inside, amongst old receipts and faded photographs, lay a small, plastic-wrapped card. On it, a cartoon monkey grinned cheekily. "He gave me this. Said it was for emergencies." Parson stared at the card, skepticism battling with a flicker of hope. "You think this monkey picture could actually be worth something?" Clara shrugged. "Worth a shot, ain't it?" The bank was a monument to cold, hard cash, the antithesis of the whimsical monkey card now burning a hole in Parson's pocket. He approached the teller, a stern woman with a tight bun and a permanent frown. He presented the check, his hand trembling slightly. The teller barely glanced at it. "I'm sorry, sir, this check is over a decade old. It's no longer valid." "But I need this money," Parson pleaded, his voice cracking. "It's important." The teller's frown deepened. "I understand, sir, but there's nothing I can do." She pushed the check back towards him, her expression a mix of pity and annoyance. Dejected, Parson stumbled out of the bank. He'd been a fool to think this would work. The weight of his situation pressed down on him. He needed a miracle, or maybe just a very valuable monkey picture. His head pounded in rhythm with his footsteps as he wandered aimlessly down the street. He clutched the NFT card in his pocket, a flimsy shield against the despair threatening to engulf him. A sudden shout, a flash of movement, and then everything went black. He came to slowly, his head throbbing, vision blurry. He was lying on the sidewalk, a searing pain in his cheek. His pockets were empty, the NFT card gone. He'd been mugged. A kind soul pressed a bag of ice to his head. "You okay, mister?" a voice asked, laced with concern. Parson groaned, his head spinning. He wanted to laugh at the absurdity of it all. He'd pinned his hopes on a cartoon monkey only to end up mugged and penniless. "Just peachy," he muttered, his voice raspy. The world swam back into focus, and he saw her. A young woman, her face etched with worry, holding his NFT card. "You dropped this," she said, offering it to him. "I think it's one of those valuable ones." He stared at the card, his mind struggling to catch up. This girl, she knew what this was? "You know about NFTs?" he rasped, his voice hoarse. The woman, whose name he soon learned was Sarah, smiled. "It's how I make a living. I'm an artist. Digital art mostly." She pointed to the card. "That series is super rare. You could probably get a lot for it." She helped him to his feet, her eyes filled with a kindness that warmed him more than the ice pack ever could. "Come on," she said gently. "Let's get you cleaned up. I'll show you how to sell that monkey." He allowed himself to be led, his mind a whirlwind of confusion and a glimmer of hope. This random act of kindness, this chance encounter with a stranger who understood the language of digital monkeys, could this be his salvation? The coffee shop was buzzing with the sound of conversation and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Parson sat across from Sarah, watching in disbelief as numbers flickered on her laptop screen. The auction for his NFT was live. "I can't believe people are actually bidding on this," he muttered, shaking his head in wonder. "It's just a silly monkey picture." Sarah chuckled. It's art, Parson, and sometimes art can be worth a lot more than we expect. The final bid came in, a sum that made Parson's head spin. He could buy a year's worth of medication, have enough left over for a decent meal, maybe even a new hat. He stared at Sarah, his heart overflowing with gratitude. "You're a lifesaver, you know that?" he said, his voice thick with emotion. "That silly monkey just bought me my sanity." He paused, a slow grin spreading across his face. "And hey," he added, winking at Sarah, "I've always wanted to try a digital monkey portrait.